Hey homies, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Imani at home, and today we're gonna get to know each other. We're gonna fall in love. We're gonna know so many things about me. The first thing you should know is that I can't sing. We're gonna do a Q&A while I do this makeup look right here. I wanna be clear, don't ask me for no like real in-depth tutorial because God's honest truth, I will never do this makeup again like this because I don't have the skill set. If you like this video and want to see more from me, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Okay, let's get into the stuff. Let me see. First things first, we gotta put on that sunscreen. Y'all love when I was using this as my microphone in last week's video. I haven't intended to be all of that. Holding the microphone with my hand was annoying, so I just grabbed it out the bathroom, but glad y'all liked it. My first question, what do you do for a living? Is Imani at home your full-time job? Simply put, yes, Imani at home is my full-time job. I create content for brands. I write on my blog, I create Instagram content. I am now creating on YouTube, which is what you guys are watching. I actually love when people ask me this question. They just genuinely say, how are you feeling or how are you doing? I try not to be one of those people who say that they're doing okay when they're absolutely not. Right now, I feel genuinely okay about life. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I hit a very big milestone in my career yesterday. Oh God, it's mixing in with my sunscreen, but whatever. I can't tell you guys what it is yet because the contracts aren't signed, but very excited about that. My birthday is coming up. I'm gonna go visit my little cousin soon. So yeah, honestly, life is good. I'm feeling really happy. The people in my life that I love are doing well. I feel good. Thank you guys for asking. How are you doing? Ooh, this is so funny because I've gotten like two versions of this. Biggest pet peeve for followers, or how does it feel when you get recognized in public? I do realize that I put myself on the internet and, you know, thousands of people watch it. But when I walk around and I'm at the grocery store and stuff, I don't think like, oh yeah, I just don't think about myself like that. So when people stop me in the street, I'm always just like, oh, yeah, that thing that I do. If you know me only from the internet, say that first, because I swear to God, in my mind, I'm going like, oh, this girl's mom is friends with my mom, and I'm supposed to know who she is, and we met at some, you know, if you see me out, say what's up. Like, how do I make good content? It comes down to a couple of different things. Part of what makes content look good is having a plan when you go into it. If I can shoot in natural light, I will. If I don't, then I use artificial lighting. I make sure that when I'm shooting my content that I'm trying to get things from different angles, and I'm constantly watching videos on YouTube and other creators on how I can improve my content. I think someone who is a huge inspiration for me is Anella of Feed the Malik. She makes beautiful videos. My apartment has been shot up by some very good photographers, so when they're over here shooting my apartment, I'm usually right behind them asking for like, oh, what lens you're using? How are you shooting that? What's your style? And so I look back on a lot of the content that I created, you know, even a year ago, and I look at it and I'm just like, oogity boogity, what was I thinking? Even last week's video, when I posted it, as soon as it was up, I was looking at it and I was like, oh, okay, if I could change this about that video, I would have changed this about the video. So constantly just going back, looking at things that I've done and trying to improve on it is a tip, but also trying to get as good as you can with what you have, because you don't have to go out and buy a $5,000 camera. Like I said, most of my content is shot on an iPhone. And this is an iPhone 15. I just upgraded to an iPhone 15 a couple months ago. I was shooting on an iPhone 13 for the majority of Imani at home. What were you like as a child? I actually have my second grade report card, so let's see what it says. I framed it, but the frame broke. So, Imani is a bright, happy student. She works hard and produces good work. Imani is making good academic progress. Imani is a friendly student. She's making good growth in her academics. However, she must put forth more effort in spelling and math. I still can't spell and I still can't do math, and it's very sad. My mom studied accounting in college and she has her MBA, but that lady can do like long division math in her head, and girl, I once pulled out my calculator to do 6 times 4. How do I say this in a way that's like not bad? I was a very strong-willed child, and you know, in a black household, that's the kind of thing that gets you in trouble. The thing that I constantly got in trouble for as a kid was lying or telling stories, as the black elders like to say. Hold on, my best friend calling me. Hey, Daddy, what's up?
Okay with the head wrap. I see you, bitch.
Thank you, Bookie. I'm filming a video, so say hi to the people.
Hi, internet.
Bye. After I look back on my childhood, I feel like exactly the things that people said, made me a quote unquote bad kid were some of the reasons that I'm very successful right now. I question everything. I don't look at somebody just because they're older than me and think, oh, they must automatically know better than me and that I have to defer to them. Everyone is my equal regardless of age, and as long as you're respectful to me, I will be respectful to you. I do tend to be a very yes ma'am, no sir type of person, but if you as an older person come out your neck at me and you say something crazy, I'm gonna drop that yes ma'am, no ma'am stuff, and you are Beverly, okay? Like, where is like my dream place to live? I'll be honest with y'all, I feel like DC is where I'm meant to live. There are things about living in other countries that would not work for me personally. I need air conditioning, I like convenience, I like comfort. Every time I think about going anywhere, I'm always like, do they like black people? You know, the answer is always, it depends. And if that's going to be the thing, then I would rather stay with the racism that I know rather than the racism I don't know. So, you know, I don't like New York because it's too loud. I don't like California because I think people over there are too happy or too fake happy, and it's disgusting. Of all the places that I visited that I would say like I had the greatest potential of like staying there, it was probably Seattle. And maybe this is because I was really obsessed with Twilight at the time, but I really did enjoy my time in Seattle. I had a great time there. The food was good. I love a Prius. This is the question I always get. Will you ever purchase a home? What are the pros and cons about renting? I have no intention of buying a home. I talked about this when I went on a podcast, the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Tint. I love this stuff. It's not my dream, it's not my goal, it's not what I want to do with my life. I never want to make it seem like I don't think that buying a home is a good idea for some people, because I do. I don't believe in the whole like buying a home is always a better financial plan, because it's not. A lot of people buy homes that they can't afford, or they buy in areas that they don't necessarily want to live because they just want to say that they own a home, but they don't think about how owning that home is going to affect their quality of life. I don't know how to drive, so I don't want to move to like Virginia or PG County just to say that I own a home. I'd rather just stay in my apartment. I also love older buildings. So in DC, those buildings tend to be rent controlled. To me, if I'm in a rent controlled building, what's the point in buying a home? That said, I recognize that as Imani a home gets bigger, it might be advantageous for me to own something. So I'm cluing y'all into like my life goal here, so don't tell nobody. This is a secret just between us homies. I want to own a building. Want that building to be sort of like a multi-use space where I can host events, maybe small parties, have a little retail outfit. And when Imani a home is like at the level that I want it to be at, I'm gonna have like a whole team working for me. We're gonna be creating video content, doing makeovers for people. We're gonna be doing the blog and all this other kind of stuff. Like, it's gonna be huge. And I wanna have a little office for people to work from. And then on the top floor, I wanna be able to live. Like, I don't want to just like buy a home for the sake of buying a home. I'd rather save my money, save my time, and buy a building. I also genuinely just like renting personally. You know, some parts of it can be kind of stressful when you have a landlord that's an idiot, but having somebody where I can pass the buck to them and I can just call them and be like, hey, this is broken, you need to come fix it. And also in DC, buying a house isn't even a thing. I would be buying like a condo. I'm just gonna live my life in this rent controlled apartment because I don't care. What was the most joyful moment in your new place? Last summer, I had my little cousins come and stay with me for the weekend, and we had so much fun. And I took them to the zoo, I took them out to dinner, we went to the park. We just made me really feel like, oh my God, I'm getting to live my dream as being like the rich auntie, the cool auntie. They my cousins, but auntie type age. What do you do with laminate tiles throughout the whole apartment? You're gonna put some peel and stick tiles over top of them and keep it moving. I use the Bonneville ones from Chris Loves Julia collection with floor pops, and I really like those, But Auto Studio, who I absolutely adore, they just launched floor tiles, so I would definitely consider to their collection to see what they have for floor tiles. Put those directly over top of the existing laminate and just move on about your day. Best places to eat in DC. Hey Bookie, she says she's in DC too. I actually tend to go to the same restaurants over and over and over again. The most I want to go out with is 3 people for a 4-top. I think going out as dinner as a 6-top is crazy. Revelers Hour, Albee and Navy Yard, Old Ebbitt because I love shrimp cocktail, french fries, and a sparkling rosé. Martha Deer has the best pizza in DC. Lou Tess is nice if you want like a cute little French dinner sitting at the bar. I have recently become a really big fan of Astoria. Their Dan Dan noodles are so good. A lot of questions on where I buy my earrings. Almost all of my jewelry that you will see is from Koi Studio. Hold on, it's a long question. Let me read this. Do your friends and family love your home decor choices as much as you love them? Have you ever felt judged for your preference towards bold colors and eclectic maximalism? I feel like we live in a world which a lot of people can be judgmental if someone's home is not bound to the sort of minimalist, calm decorating look. Everybody in my family and even my friends, they sometimes don't like what I have going on. Darrell, who I make videos with all the time, he has described my style as old grandma looking at. I know that he doesn't like it, but it is my style and I'm not gonna change it just because he doesn't like it. When I painted my bedroom that very dark color coconut husk, some of the first people to tell me that it looks like doo-doo were people in my family. And you know, it's okay. I know which people in my family like the style that I have, and I know which people in my family don't like that style. And the real gag is, don't nobody pay no bills over here but me. So the only person whose opinions matters is mine. What is your most played song? Number 1, Cuff It, Beyonce. Number 2, Church Girl, Beyonce. Number 3, All Too Well, 10-minute version, Taylor Swift. Number 4, Here Comes the Sun by Nina Simone. 5, America Has a Problem, Beyonce. Number 6, Heated, Beyonce. 7, VSOP, K. Michelle. 8, Energy, Beyonce. Alien Superstar, Beyonce. Something by Sarah Vaughan. What is this? This is the song that comes on after Here Comes the Sun when I do my wake up. And number 10, Break My Soul, Beyonce. Ooh, I love this question. Where do you get your creative inspiration from? Girl, I was once listening to Edward Enninful's book. He's basically talking about his creative process and how the way he goes about it is that he does a ton of research. He looks at archives, he looks at photos, he looks at the world around him, and then he just sort of like goes to sleep. And then when he wakes up, the entire concept has sort of come to him and he just sort of sees it. And that is kind of the best explanation I can give on my creative process. In terms of like decorating a room, sometimes things just align. Like, I don't know what it is about my brain, but I will walk into a room, I will see a pattern, I will see a color, I will walk up to like one of those big walls of paint samples at the hardware store, and I will instantly just gravitate towards one color. I will pick it out and I'll be like, I think this is the one, but let me get 6 or 7 other samples just to make sure. And I will go home and paint all of those samples and I will pick the one I had originally picked up anyway. A lot of this has to do with just having very good taste. I personally believe that taste is something that you were born with. I think you can learn it as a skill, you can develop it, but innately just having taste is something that I just have. I love the framed cane in your hallway. What is the story behind it? Wallpaper is stunning, as are you. Oh my God, thank you, Buki. The cane in my hallway is actually my grandfather's cane. My grandfather passed away when I was like 2 years old, so I don't really remember him, but I always remember seeing this cane in our garage when I was growing up. And when I moved down here, I asked my mom and my grandma if I could have it, and they say yes. And I sat with it for a really long time trying to decide what I wanted to do with it. And then I got this deal with Michaels, and I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna get this thing custom framed. It's really beautiful. I absolutely love having it there. It's like such a showstopper. That wallpaper is called Fulawa. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's by Uzo Art and her collection with Auto Studio. I'll link it in the description box with some other videos and blog posts that I've created talking about like tips and tricks and how to put up wallpaper. Oh, this is such a fitting question. What are your aspirations with YouTube and with your business? Sort of with how I touched on earlier about buying a building, my genuine goal with Imani at Home, I want it to be a very big resource for people who have small apartments or small budgets or small condos or just don't always want to make permanent solutions. Sounds like home decor outlets tend to only focus on homeowners with big budgets who want to bring in contractors. And I don't think you always need that in order to create a home that you love. Do you want to get into doing makeovers for other people? Right now, I think my way of like helping other people getting the fully furnished videos, there's one up on my page right now, and I'm gonna put the other one up soon. I'd like to continue growing the YouTube page because I think I'm just more suited to long form content, and I'm a chit chatter, I'm a yapper. Oh, why would you buy a $6,000 faucet? So this is in reference to the Waterworks faucet that I have in my kitchen. It's one of the nicer ways that people have framed that. Some people have just called me a flat out idiot. The truth of the matter is that I didn't buy the faucet. The faucet was a gift to me because I had created some content for Luxury Bath for Less, sort of outlet of Waterworks. Waterworks is a luxury kitchen and bath retailer, and sometimes if they have returns or if they have things that are like slightly damaged on the finish but still perfectly functional, they'll sell it on Luxury Bath for Less. Is a faucet $6,000, and the truth of the matter is that any faucet that you're buying at like a big box store is like metal but also a lot of plastic. This Waterworks faucet is entirely made of solid unlacquered brass, and it is coated with a special finish. The quality is impeccable. A lot of the clients that I had when I worked at Waterworks were people who had bought a faucet 30 years ago and needed a service part, and we were still able to service a faucet from 30 years ago. Anything that you buy at Home Depot, that will not be the case. You're also paying for the brand name. And that's with any like luxury product. Hold on, let me do my liner. I know someone's gonna ask, how did you get good at doing your eyeliner? Baby, trial and error. How old are you, and are you dating anybody? Girl, you up in my business. I'm 28 years old. I'm a Leo. My birthday is in July. July Leos. Burr, 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 burr. Don't you know about the dating pool in DC? It's full of piss. I go on dates. I am not dating anyone in particular. So many strange feelings about dating and like specifically talking about dating, because no desire to put my relationship in the content. Also don't want to be with somebody who would be like resentful that I have a career that I love that makes money. You know, I know people like to say like, oh, money isn't everything, or money shouldn't affect your relationship, but it does. And don't get me wrong, this ain't no silver spoon. I'm a hardworking woman. I got hardworking family members, but I like a Michelin star dinner just as much as I like eating, you know, jerk chicken that came off of the back of a truck and a plate of styrofoam on the side of the street. I like both of those things, and I want somebody who also likes both of those things. The other thing in terms of dating that I think is pretty difficult is that I don't want children. I know it is becoming more common for women, especially young women, to come out and say flat out that they don't want children. I still feel like I'm getting some sort of pushback on that, or they want me to explain in like grave detail why I don't want to like use my uterus to have a baby with them. Because when I say I don't want children, that means I don't want to physically have children. I don't want to adopt children. I don't want to IVF no kids, and I don't want you to have kids. I don't want to be the stepmommy. I'm trying to be the best auntie, the best big cousin ever. I do not want them kids in my house. It's really difficult to find a man who's interested in being in a monogamous relationship with marriage but doesn't necessarily want kids and is also, you know, physically attractive to me and also, you know, got some money, because I can't do broke. I can't do broke, y'all. 'Cause the dating pool got pee in it, but I'm out there. I'm in the waters waiting. I'm gonna put a little bit of blush on, because this was quite possibly the messiest question anyone has ever asked. What do I think about influencer snark pages? Messy boots. If you don't know what snark pages are, it's basically a place where people can go and make anonymous comments about anything. People have created snark pages for influencers. Here's what I think about snark pages. As a gossip-loving girl, I think they're funny. I think if you're using the snark page to like spread light on something that somebody's doing that is like harmful or, you know, potentially dangerous or just disingenuous, like I can kind of understand why people create them. I don't know if anyone's ever written about me on the snark pages, but I have seen what people write on there. I'd say what people write on there is some of the most hating ass shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, down to your core, use a hater. Like, the thing that they're hating on this person for is like, I would never say that, or I would never wear that kind of outfit, or I would never put myself out there the way this person is, or like, isn't she embarrassed that she's putting herself out there like that? And I think to a certain extent, people who write on snark pages do so because they want the clout that can come with being an influencer, but they don't want the responsibility or backlash that can come with like publicly putting yourself out there. My issue with people who create snark pages, because from what I've seen about them, there's always a couple people on there who are like posting on the snark page. It seems like this their full-time job, and they're always like say the funniest comment or make the most like wittiest joke about whatever influencer they're talking trash on. You know how addicting it can feel to have people like come back at you and say, oh girl, you're so funny, or oh my god, I agree with you. Like, I know how addicting that feeling can be. So when I see people who are constantly like sort of upping the ante on what they say about somebody for attention, I instantly think in myself, it's like, oh, you want to be her, but you don't have the confidence to be her, so you sit behind a computer and say what you gotta say. And people who write on snark pages about how much they hate this influencer or that influencer, it's giving I don't have friends. Because I feel like a lot of times when people are talking trash about people on snark pages, they're talking about stuff that doesn't really matter. They're like, she's on Ozempic and she's not telling us that she's on Ozempic. It's not your business that she's on Ozempic. Why would she have to come out and tell you about that? If she lost 40 pounds in 3 months and then all of a sudden was like, and here's my workout routine that you can buy for $52.99, then like maybe, yeah, you would have something to say. But like if she's just casually getting dressed, being skinnier, so mind your business. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Would you ever consider moving to a city like New York? Or like, do you think that living in DC makes it harder for you to be an influencer? There would definitely be more opportunities for me to do more things if I lived in a place like New York, but I personally don't want to live there. Like, the community is a lot smaller. It's a lot easier to get invited to stuff. It's a lot easier to become more well known for something because you're one of the few instead of one of the many. What is done to make things legal, like taxes? Or anyone can just pick up a camera and make content. And once you start making money, you are gonna have to start like dealing with things like taxes, insurance, accounting, healthcare, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying this is the right way to do it. I'm saying that this is the way that I do it. For the first year, I just was like taking in money and then I put it on my taxes as income. When it started to get like pretty successful and I was making like a decent amount of money, I got my EIN, which is like a business tax ID. I got a separate business account, and then I started an LLC. That way I would have like some sort of protections to sort of run everything through Imani at Home as a business versus Imani as a person. As Imani at Home started to make more money and I was getting kind of confused with the tax situation, and I knew that I wasn't taking advantage of all of the tax opportunities that I could, I got an accountant. He specializes in working with small businesses, and then he actually decided that it would be better for me to turn myself into an S Corp and make myself an employee of Imani at Home. I'm not going to go in too deep on how that all works because I know that eventually I will say something that is incorrect. And that is the way for me to like do things legally, but also, you know, make sure that my taxes are good and I'm saving taxes in certain areas and I'm making sure that I'm paying what I'm supposed to be paying and, you know, staying out of jail. Final question. What is a guilty pleasure of yours? This is so funny because like there are so many things that I do that I think are kind of weird that I just don't feel like guilty about, or like I just genuinely don't care what people think about what I'm doing. But I feel like my guilty pleasure is that I talk to myself. And not in the like, I'm talking to myself because I'm talking to a camera and eventually somebody will watch the video and it will be like I'm talking to you. No. When I walk down the street, I out loud talk to myself and answer myself out loud. I think talking to yourself is a really wonderful way to like get your ideas out and feel good about yourself because it gives you the opportunity to say how you feel in a safe and like healthy way. That's the beat. Got the beat, you've got the beat. Yeah, you got it. This is my makeup. What do we think? I'm so happy that we got to use this time to get to know each other. It was very fun. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Thank y'all for being here. I'm Imani at Home. Hope y'all have a great day. Bye, homies.